Welcome to the Kids channel. Enjoy the collection of short moral stories in this video. In a charming little town, there lived a dog named Max. Max was the happiest pup you'd ever meet, always wagging his tail and making friends wherever he went. He loved to play in the park, chase butterflies, and nap in the warm sun. Woof, woof! Max was a social butterfly, always eager to make new furry friends at the local dog park. One day, Max's owner gave him a special treat, the biggest, juiciest bone he'd ever seen. Max could hardly contain his excitement as he waited to see what his owner had for him. Woof, woof! Max couldn't believe his eyes. It was the most amazing bone he had ever seen. Max couldn't wait to enjoy his delicious prize. He pranced and danced, showing off his new treasure to anyone who would look. He pranced around the yard, showing off his new treasure to all his animal friends. The cats meowed in admiration, and the birds chirped their congratulations. Ruff! But Max knew he had to keep his treasure safe. He decided to bury it in the most secret spot he could find. On his way home, Max decided to take a shortcut through the park. He trotted past the playground where children waved and called his name. Max wagged his tail, feeling like the luckiest dog in the world. His prized bone made him feel on top of the world. Even the other dogs in the park seemed to admire Max's special treat. As he continued his journey, he came across a small stream with a wooden bridge. Max paused, admiring the beautiful scene before him. Looking down, Max saw another dog in the water carrying an even bigger bone. His eyes widened in disbelief at the sight. Whine! Poor Max! He had lost everything because he wanted more than he needed. The lesson was a hard one to learn. Max sat on the bridge, feeling foolish and sad. He realized that sometimes wanting more can make you lose what you already have. As Max headed home, he promised himself to be grateful for what he had, rather than always wanting more. But when Max got home, he remembered that the best things in life aren't things at all. They're the love and care of those who matter most. As Max walked home, he thought about what had happened. He remembered how happy he was with his original bone. The day's events played over in his mind. He realized that being greedy had cost him the wonderful treat he already had. Max decided then and there to learn from his mistake. It was a moment of growth for our furry friend. From that day on, Max learned to appreciate what he had and to be happy with his life. He enjoyed the simple things, like belly rubs and games of fetch. Woof! And you know what? That made Max the happiest dog in the whole wide world. So remember, sometimes the best things in life are the ones we already have. Just like Max, we can all learn to be grateful and content. Woof, woof, woof! Moral: don't be greedy. Be happy with what you have. Remember, true happiness comes from appreciating the simple joys in life. Hi there! I'm Sam, and I'm going to tell you about my friend, the wise old owl. He lives in this big, twisty old tree in the middle of our town park. His feathers are all gray and fluffy, and his eyes are as big as dinner plates. Now, I used to be the kind of kid who always had something to say, like all the time. At school, at home, even when I was brushing my teeth. Words just kept popping out of my mouth. One day, I was playing with my friends in the park, and I said something that made everyone upset. I didn't mean to, but I just blurted out the first thing that came to my mind. Wow, your new haircut looks like a porcupine on your head. Sarah's face turned red, and she ran away crying. I felt terrible. That's when I decided to visit the wise old owl. Everyone says he gives the best advice. I found him perched on a branch, his big eyes blinking slowly.
Whew. What brings you here, young Sam?
Mr. Owl, I keep saying things without thinking, and it's causing problems. What should I do?
Listen closely, Sam. A wise owl once said, "The less he spoke, the more he heard." Why aren't we like that wise old bird?
What does that mean, Mr. Owl?
It means, young one, that sometimes it's better to listen and think before you speak.
Oh, I get it. So I should try to listen more and talk less?
Precisely. Give it a try and see what happens.
The next day at school, I remembered what the owl said. When my teacher asked a question, I didn't raise my hand right away like I usually do. And you know what? I learned so much more that way. Later, during recess, I saw Sarah again. I wanted to say sorry for what I said before, but this time, I thought carefully about my words before speaking. Sarah, I'm really sorry about what I said yesterday. I actually think your new haircut makes you look really cool. From that day on, I tried to be more like the wise old owl, listening carefully and thinking before speaking. It wasn't always easy, but I kept practicing. And you know what? I made more friends and got along better with everyone. So remember, kids, sometimes the wisest thing you can do is just listen.
Hello dear, welcome to the Kids channel. Today I'm going to tell you an Easter story. In a magical forest where the flowers bloom in pastel hues and the sun always shines just right, there lived a fluffy white bunny named Benny.
Good morning, Forest. What a beautiful day. Wait a minute, is it? Could it be it's Easter morning?
The forest came alive with excitement as animals of all kinds emerged from their homes, ready for the day's special event.
Attention everyone! It's time for our annual Easter egg hunt. Remember, the most important part is having fun and sharing with your friends.
Oh boy, time to find some eggs.
Benny hopped through the meadow, his eyes darting left and right, spotting colourful eggs hidden all around.
Look at this beautiful blue egg behind the daffodils, and a pink one in the hollow log.
With each egg he found, Benny's basket grew fuller and fuller.
Wow, a golden egg. I've never seen one like this before.
Hey Benny, what did you find? It looks amazing.
Ooh, is that a special egg? It's so shiny and pretty. My basket is almost overflowing. I must have the most eggs of anyone. But you know what? The best part is sharing this moment with my friends.
And so, Benny learned that the true joy of Easter wasn't in finding the most eggs, but in sharing the adventure with friends. But as Benny looked around, he noticed not everyone was having such an easy time.
I can't reach that egg up there. It's too high for a little squirrel like me.
This egg is too big for me to carry. Oh dear, being a tiny hedgehog is so hard sometimes.
I have so many eggs already. Maybe I could...
And in that moment, Benny felt a warm glow in his heart. He realized something important.
Winning isn't everything. My friends need help.
With a hop and a skip, Benny made his way over to Timmy and Rosie.
Here, Timmy and Rosie, I want you to have some of my eggs.
Wow, Benny, you're giving us your eggs.
That's so generous of you, thank you.
That's what friends are for. Now we can all enjoy the Easter fun together.
Look at Benny, sharing his eggs with others. That's the true spirit of Easter.
Word of Benny's generosity spread quickly through the forest.
Here, Timmy, let me give you a boost.
Thanks, Benny. I can reach it now.
We can do this together, Rosie.
Yay, it's moving.
Everyone, gather round. It's time to announce our Easter champion.
All the animals huddled together, buzzing with excitement.
The true Easter bunny isn't the one who finds the most eggs, but the one who shows the most kindness. Benny, you are our champion.
Me? But I didn't find the most eggs.
No, Benny. You found something much more valuable, the joy of sharing.
As Benny looked around at the smiling faces of his friends, he realized that the warmth in his heart was worth more than any prize.
I guess the real treasure was the happiness we created together.
3 cheers for Benny, the kindest bunny in the forest.
Hip hip hooray. And so, in the glow of the Easter sun, Benny and his friends celebrated together, their laughter echoing through the magical forest.
Come on, everyone, let's have an Easter picnic and share all our eggs.
As the animals settled down to enjoy their feast, Benny looked around with a heart full of joy. Remember, little ones, true joy comes not from what we collect, but from what we share. Happy Easter to all. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.
I remember when I was a young fox, full of energy and, yes, perhaps a bit too arrogant. You see, back then I thought I could do anything. Nothing was impossible for me. Let me tell you a story from my youth. What a beautiful day for an adventure. I wonder what I'll find today. Little did I know I was about to learn a very important lesson. Oh, what's that smell? Then I saw it. The most beautiful vineyard I'd ever seen. The lush vines were reaching up to the sky, and there, just a little way off, hung the most delicious-looking grapes I'd ever seen. These grapes look so tasty, I must have them. Look, I had complete faith in myself. I thought I could do anything. The world was full of possibilities and nothing seemed out of reach. Just a little higher. I'm almost there. I know it. I'm so close. I jumped and stretched, my paws barely grazing the lowest bunch. Come on, I can do this. Just a little more. But no matter how hard I tried, those grapes remained out of reach. One more try. I can do this. I leaped and jumped, my legs growing tired, my breaths coming faster. After what felt like hours, I had to face the truth. It's impossible. I can't reach them. Maybe they're just not for me. And then something strange happened. Instead of giving up, I convinced myself those grapes are probably sour anyway. And just like that, I let go of something I had wanted so badly just moments before. I turned my back on that garden, pretending I hadn't spent the last hour trying to reach those grapes. It took me years to understand what I did that day. Sometimes it's easier to convince ourselves we don't want something, rather than admit we can't have it. But true wisdom comes from accepting our limitations and learning from our experiences. So kids, remember, it's not always about getting what you want. What's important is how you handle disappointment and what you learn from it. And who knows, maybe one day you'll find a way to reach your grapes. But until then, enjoy your journey and the lessons it brings. After all, that's what life is all about.
Well now, my dears, gather round. I've got a tale to tell you about a silly old farmer and his rather extraordinary goose. Once upon a time, in a quaint little village, there was a kind-hearted farmer who lived a simple life on his small farm. Another day, another dollar, but oh, how I wish for just a bit more to make ends meet. The farmer worked from dawn to dusk, tending to his crops and animals with care.
Come along, little ones, time for your breakfast.
One fine morning, as the farmer was feeding his animals, he noticed a peculiar new visitor. Well, hello there. Where did you come from, little goose? The goose had wandered onto his farm and soon laid an egg like no other. Blimey, is that a golden egg? The farmer was overjoyed. He could scarcely believe his eyes. I must be dreaming. A real golden egg. Each day thereafter, the magical goose laid one golden egg and the farmer's life began to change. With these golden eggs I can fix up the farm and help my neighbors too. Here you go, Mrs. Brown. This should help with little Timmy's medicine. But as time passed, the farmer's heart grew heavy with greed. One egg a day? Pah! I want all the gold now. He began to dream of mansions and fancy carriages, forgetting the simple joys of farm life. Just think of all the riches inside that goose. Why wait? In his foolishness, the farmer decided to cut open the goose, thinking he'd find a treasure trove of gold inside. Just one quick cut, and I'll be rich beyond my wildest dreams. But oh, what a terrible mistake that was. No, what have I done? The poor goose was gone, and with it all the golden eggs the farmer might have had. I've lost everything, all because of my greed. The farmer's farm fell into disrepair, and his neighbours no longer came to visit. If only I could turn back time and appreciate what I had. As days turned to weeks, the farmer learned the value of contentment and hard work once more. It's not much, but it's honest work, and that's worth more than all the gold in the world. And so, my little ones, remember, greed can lead to the greatest of losses. Be content with what you have, for it may be more precious than you know.
In a small village surrounded by vast rice fields, life was simple and serene. Young Mira found her daily task of watching over the fields quite dull and monotonous. Wild boars in the fields, hurry everyone! Oh no, quickly to the fields, we must protect our crops. Mira, there are no boars here, don't make false alarms, it's not funny. Boars, they're back, this time it's real! Again? Are you sure, Mira? We can't keep running for nothing. Child, if you keep lying, we won't believe you when it really matters. Be careful. But one evening as the sun set, real danger approached the village. Please believe me, the boars are really here this time. I'm not lying. Not again, Mira. We won't fall for your tricks. Enough is enough. The next morning revealed the terrible truth. The fields were destroyed. I'm so sorry. I've learned my lesson. I'll never lie again, I promise. And so Mira learned that honesty is always the best policy, no matter what. Please don't forget to subscribe. The village once again returned to its peaceful and serene life.
Hello, my darlings. Gather round and let me tell you a tale as old as time itself. Oh, how I love to see your bright eyes light up for a story. In a beautiful meadow, not unlike the one just beyond our garden, there lived two very different insects. A diligent little ant named Antonia, and a carefree grasshopper called Hopper. These two couldn't be more different in their approach to life. Antonia was small, even for an ant, but her determination was as vast as the sky above. Hopper, on the other hand, was a lanky fellow with legs perfect for jumping and a talent for making merry music. All through the warm summer days, Antonia worked tirelessly, collecting food and preparing for the cold months ahead.
Oh, Antonia, why waste such lovely days working? Come, dance with me. The sun is shining and the breeze is just right for a jig.
I'm sorry, Hopper, but winter will be here before we know it. We must prepare. There's still so much to do.
But Hopper paid no heed to Antonia's words and continued to play his fiddle and dance in the sun. His music was so jolly that even the flowers seemed to sway along, and weeks turned into months, the rhythm of the meadow unchanging yet subtly shifting. The summer sun began to lose its intensity, a whisper of change in the air, and a crispness filled the air, heralding the approach of winter. Before anyone could quite believe it, the cold winds of winter swept across the meadow. Poor Hopper found himself ill-prepared for the sudden change, his summer songs no match for winter's chill. And so, dear children, we leave our friends here with a lesson learned and a long winter ahead. Remember, there's a time for play and a time for work, and wisdom lies in knowing the difference. As the leaves began to turn golden and red, Antonia worked even harder. She knew that the window of opportunity was closing fast.
Antonia, look at all these beautiful colors. Surely you can spare a moment to enjoy them. The world is putting on a show just for us.
Every moment counts, Hopper. Winter is coming. We won't have this bounty forever.
Hopper shrugged off Antonia's concerns, certain that the good times would never end. But nature waits for no one, my dears. And then one day, without warning, winter arrived in a flurry of snowflakes. Poor Hopper, cold and hungry, realized too late the wisdom of Antonia's words.
Oh, what a fool I've been! If only I had listened to Antonia. Now what shall become of me? Antonia, are you there? I need help.
Hopper, is that you? Come in quickly, you'll freeze out there.
Oh, Antonia, I should have listened to you. What shall I do now? I have nothing to offer in return for your kindness.
Don't worry, Hopper. I have enough to share, but you must promise to work with me when spring comes. We can all use our talents to help the meadow thrive.
Oh yes, I promise. I'll work harder than any grasshopper has ever worked before.
And so, through the long winter months, Antonia shared her food with Hopper. When the first signs of spring appeared, Hopper was true to his word. He worked alongside Antonia, using his strong legs to jump and gather food from high places that Antonia couldn't reach. Antonia, in turn, taught Hopper how to store food properly and prepare for the future. They made a wonderful team. As spring turned to summer, both Antonia and Hopper worked together, creating a bountiful store for the next winter. But they didn't forget to enjoy life either.
Hopper, why don't you play us a tune? We've worked hard today and a little music would be lovely.
With pleasure, my dear friend. This one's for you, Antonia.
And so, the meadow rang with the sound of Hopper's music, while the other insects danced, and Antonia tapped her little feet in time. When autumn came again, the anthill was filled to bursting with food, and Hopper had a cozy corner all to himself.
You know, Antonia, I never thought I'd say this, but I'm actually looking forward to winter now.
And I never thought I'd enjoy music and dancing so much. We've both learned a lot, haven't we?
Indeed they had, my darlings. Antonia had learned to take time to enjoy life's simple pleasures, while Hopper had discovered the satisfaction of hard work and planning. Together, they had found a perfect balance between work and play, preparation and enjoyment. Welcome to the whimsical world of The Tortoise and the Hare, a delightful claymation adventure that will warm your heart and tickle your imagination. In a magical claymation forest lived a fast hare and a steady tortoise. This forest was full of wonder and adventure, with every tree and flower seeming to have a story of its own. The hare was always moving, darting from one place to another, while the tortoise took his steps slowly and surely, never in a rush, but always moving forward. One sunny day, the boastful hare challenged the tortoise to a race. He was sure of his victory, laughing at the very idea that the slow-moving tortoise could ever beat him. Ready, set, go! The race began with a burst of excitement. The squirrel waved the checkered flag enthusiastically, signaling the start of this epic race. Vroom! The hare dashed forward, leaving the tortoise far behind. He felt the wind in his fur and the thrill of speed, confident that he would win easily. Meanwhile, the tortoise continued his journey, one step at a time without rushing. His determination was unwavering, and he kept his eyes on the path ahead. Proud of himself, the hare decided to take a nap. He was so sure the tortoise would never catch up to him that he felt he could afford to rest. The forest became quiet, and the race continued. The tortoise, with his steady pace, kept moving forward step by step, as the hare slept soundly. Meanwhile, the tortoise continued his journey slowly and steadily, enjoying every step and the beauty of the surrounding forest. The trees swayed gently in the breeze, and the birds chirped melodiously, creating a serene atmosphere. The tortoise felt at peace, knowing that every step he took brought him closer to his goal. He admired the vibrant flowers and the playful squirrels that darted around him. The forest was alive with colour and sound, and the tortoise felt a deep connection to it all. As the finish line approached, the tortoise moved closer and closer, feeling more confident with each step. The path was lined with cheering forest creatures, all rooting for the tortoise. He could see the finish line in the distance, a banner fluttering in the wind. The tortoise's heart swelled with pride and determination. He knew that his slow and steady pace was paying off. Each step was a testament to his perseverance and willpower. Oh no! The tortoise crossed the finish line while the hare was sleeping. The tortoise had won the race. Confetti rained down from the sky, and the forest erupted in cheers. The tortoise couldn't believe it. He had actually done it. He had proven that determination and consistency could triumph over speed and arrogance. The tortoise felt a sense of accomplishment like never before. The hare woke up and learned an important lesson. Slow and steady wins the race. The hare was shocked and embarrassed. He had underestimated the tortoise and overestimated his own abilities. The hare realized that his overconfidence had been his downfall. He watched as the tortoise celebrated with the other forest creatures, feeling a pang of regret. The forest animals celebrated the tortoise's victory, rejoicing in its determination and perseverance. They gathered around the tortoise, showering him with praise and admiration. The tortoise felt a warm glow of happiness, knowing that his hard work had paid off. The forest was filled with laughter and joy as the animals danced and sang in celebration. The end. Remember, kids, never underestimate determination and perseverance. The story of the tortoise and the hare is a timeless reminder that success is not always about being the fastest or the strongest, but about being consistent and determined. Thus ends the story of the tortoise and the hare. May we all remember the valuable lesson it teaches us. Oh, hello there, my dears. Gather round, won't you? I've a delightful tale to share about a clever little crow. Are you ready for an adventure? In a land not so far from here, where the sun beat down mercilessly, there lived a small black crow. He was a curious little fellow, always up for an adventure, with feathers as shiny as polished onyx. The land was so dry, even the cacti looked thirsty. One particularly hot day, our feathered friend had been flying for hours, his little wings working tirelessly against the hot, dry air. Oh, how he longed for a cool breeze. The poor thing's throat was as dry as the cracked earth below, and his usually cheerful caw had turned into a raspy whisper.
Water. I must find water, or I'll surely turn into a feather duster. Oh, what I wouldn't give for a tiny raindrop.
Just then, as if by magic, he spotted a pitcher in a garden below. Oh, how it gleamed in the sunlight. With hope in his heart and a twinkle in his eye, he swooped down to investigate, his little heart pounding with excitement. Could this be the answer to his prayers? But oh dear, what a predicament. The water was too low in the pitcher for his beak to reach. How frustrating. Our poor crow friend was so close, yet so far from quenching his thirst. He tried tipping the pitcher, but it was far too heavy for his little body. It didn't budge an inch. He attempted to break it with his beak, but the pitcher was much too strong. Oh my, he nearly chipped his beak. Our crow friend even tried sweet-talking the pitcher. Oh, come on, you big lug, he pleaded. Just a little tilt. But the pitcher remained stubbornly upright, almost seeming to smirk at the crow's attempts. Our clever crow wasn't one to give up easily. He tried every trick he could think of, no matter how silly. But alas, the water remained just out of reach, taunting him with its cool shimmer. Just as he was about to give up, a brilliant idea struck him like a bolt of lightning. You could almost see the gears turning in his clever little head. What could our feathered friend be thinking?
Pebbles. I'll use pebbles to raise the water. Oh, aren't I a clever bird? Who says crows can't solve problems? I'll show that pitcher who's boss.
With renewed energy, he began hopping around the garden, picking up small stones in his beak. One by one, he began dropping the pebbles into the pitcher. Plop, plop, plop. The water slowly began to rise. With each stone, hope bubbled up in his little crow heart. Just a few more, he thought. Don't give up now. The sun continued its journey across the sky, but our determined crow didn't stop for a moment. Larger stones for big splashes, smaller ones for precision. He used them all in his quest for a drink. The pitcher, impressed by the crow's persistence, seemed to be cheering him on, its sides gleaming encouragingly. Even the garden creatures gathered around, amazed by our clever crow's ingenuity. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity, the water rose high enough for him to reach. Success was within his grasp. With great joy, he dipped his beak into the cool water and took a long, refreshing drink. Oh, how sweet it tasted. It was the most delicious water he had ever had. He drank and drank until his thirst was quenched. feeling the cool water revitalize his tired body. Refreshed and proud of his accomplishment, our clever crow puffed out his chest and let out a triumphant caw. The garden seemed to celebrate with him, flowers nodding in approval and leaves rustling in applause. And so, my dears, our clever crow flew off into the sunset, no longer thirsty, but certainly much wiser. He had learned that with patience, perseverance, and a little creativity, even the biggest problems can be solved. As he soared through the sky, he knew that no challenge was too great for his clever mind. Remember, little ones, where there's a will, there's always a way. And sometimes, the solution is right under your beak. This clever crow teaches us that no matter how small we are, we can overcome big challenges with a bit of thinking. What do you think you could solve with your clever minds? That's right, my dears. Hello, my dears. Gather round, for I have a tale to tell. A story of an unlikely friendship between the mightiest and the tiniest of creatures. In this sun-drenched savannah, where life thrives in every corner, our story. This sun-drenched savannah, where golden grass swayed in the breeze, lived a majestic lion. Oh, how he roared! The very ground trembled beneath his paws. Roar! This lion, you see, was the king of the savannah. All the animals respected and feared him, from the tallest giraffe to the swiftest cheetah. His strength was unmatched, his roar unparalleled. He ruled his domain with fierce pride and unwavering authority, but in the same savannah, scurrying between blades of grass, was a tiny mouse, so small you might miss her if you blinked. Unlike the mighty lion, the mouse lived a quiet life, gathering seeds and hiding from predators. She was quick and clever, but often overlooked. Her world was one of constant vigilance, where every rustle of grass could mean danger. Yet she approached each day with courage and resourcefulness. One day, as the great lion napped under the shade of an acacia tree, our little mouse friend accidentally scampered across his nose. The lion's eyes snapped open. With a growl that shook the leaves, he snatched up the poor mouse in his massive paw. Eek, eek, please, mighty lion, spare me, eek, I didn't mean to wake you, eek, eek. I'm just a tiny mouse, not even a morsel for someone as great as you. The mouse trembled, her tiny heart racing as she looked into the lion's fierce eyes. She pleaded for her life, her voice barely a squeak against the lion's low growl. The lion, amused by the mouse's terror, decided to be merciful. Very well, he rumbled. Run along, little one. You're hardly a morsel anyway. With that, he opened his paw, and the mouse scurried away as fast as her little legs could carry her. Days passed, and all was well in the savannah. The lion continued his reign, while the mouse went about her business, always keeping an eye out for the king. Until one fateful morning, as the sun was just peeking over the horizon, painting the sky in brilliant oranges and pinks, the lion found himself trapped in a hunter's net. Oh, how he roared and thrashed, but the more he struggled, the tighter the net became. His mighty strength, once his greatest asset, now worked against him. The king of the savannah was helpless, caught in a web of rope and fear. His mighty roars echoed across the savannah, startling birds from their nests and sending antelopes fleeing in fear. Who should hear his cries but our tiny mouse friend? Without hesitation, she scurried to the lion's aid. Eek, eek, don't worry, lion, eek, I'll help you, eek, eek. The lion, in his distress, barely noticed the small creature approaching. You! He scoffed. How could you possibly help me? And would you believe it? That tiny mouse began to gnaw through the thick ropes of the net with her sharp little teeth. It was hard work, and dangerous too. Any moment, the hunters might return. But the mouse persevered, driven by gratitude for the lion's earlier mercy. Her tiny teeth worked tirelessly, gnawing through rope after rope. Though the task seemed impossible, she refused to give up. knowing that even the smallest creature can make a big difference. It took time and effort, but finally, with one last snap of her teeth, the net fell away and the lion was free. Thank you, little one. I was wrong to think you insignificant. The mouse stood tall, proud of her accomplishment. You're welcome, mighty lion, she squeaked. I'm glad I could help. From that day forward, the lion and the mouse became the most unlikely of friends. The lion protected the mouse from other predators, while the mouse kept an eye out for hunters' traps. And so, my dears, this tale teaches us a valuable lesson. Can you guess what it might be? That's right. Kindness is never wasted, and even the smallest among us can make a big difference. Remember, little ones, no act of kindness is ever too small, and no friend is ever too unlikely. Now run along and spread some kindness of your own.